If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Acknowledge us.
Hey, guys. We're here at the Red Carpet Ring. We're going to talk about NXT this week. We're talking about the WWE NXT New Number 1 Contenders. You guys get the likes as we come into the ring. We're going to talk about it. I'll go over, cover the main stuff of the show, give my rating of what I thought of certain matches. Then I'll go over my final review. And then I'll go what I least liked about this NXT episode. Now, I'm gonna go over some stuff right now of what happened on NXT. Now, certain things I did want to talk about. That's the main event we had here with Giulia and Jordynne Grace, which I will get into. But let's go over a few things that we'll talk about. Now, the first thing I want to talk about here, we are going to talk about the Battle Royal for number 1 contention for the NXT Championship. I'll have to say this was a very, very good Battle Royal. It ended with Miles Bourne of No Catch Quarter Crew, the very biggest shocker for him to win the number 1 contender for the NXT Championship, which will be at Battleground. He's going to face Obafemi for that championship. Now, it seemed like it got close when it came down to Shawn Spears. It came to Ethan Page, and yes, it came to Miles Bourne. But Miles Bourne, he did what he had to do, and he finally is going to get his first opportunity at the NXT Championship. So congratulations to Miles Bourne. Well deserved. He put in the work. Biggest shocker I've ever seen. I didn't expect that to happen. I don't think a lot of us didn't expect that to happen, but now it's here. He's going to go off for that championship. So I know that, Obafemi saying, good luck to him. But I think the reason I would say he won this number 1 contendership, no offense to Miles Bourne, is literally giving Obafemi a new competitor. He needs someone else to compete against him for the NXT Championship. Let's be honest. We don't want to see Trick Williams versus Obafemi. We don't want to see that. Javon Evans was the number 1 contender, and he had a triple threat against against Trick and Javon at Stand and Deliver. We got to be honest here. What do we want to see? What are we looking forward to? But yeah, it's official. At Battleground, we're going to get Obafemi versus Miles Bourne. Now, I'm going to play the politic card here. I would say he won that too because we can say he looks like Randy Orton. And coincidentally, Randy Orton's competing for the WWE Championship at Backlash. And we also could say, when Shawn Spears eliminated Ethan Page, he kind of botched it. I don't think his feet was supposed to touch the floor. And I'm talking about Shawn Spears. I thought Shawn Spears was going to get it when he eliminated Ethan Page. But you know what? Other than that, congratulations to Miles Bourne. Like I said, big shocker. And I will give my rating on this particular match. I'll give it 4 stars. 4 stars for this particular match. 4 out of 5 for the match. That was solid. So I'll give it to him. Let's go over other parts of the show. Now, we had another number 1 contendership. This was Kelani Jordan versus Zaria. It seemed like these women were going toe-to-toe. Great style of Kelani Jordan, great style of Zaria. I'm ahead of myself, but I will say that it looked like Kelani Jordan had it. But Zaria, she just kept going. She, Zaria hit a spear. She hit that F5, it's called the F5 still. And I think it was solid though. So I would say it was a solid match. And we're going to get Sol Ruka versus Zaria for that championship. So I'll give this a 4 stars. It was a good match. Zaria, she's one of the 3 women that was talked about in the past to make the jump to NXT. So she will get opportunity to face Sol Ruka. We know they're tag team partners. It looks like it's going to be some. I think if Zaria does not defeat Sol Ruka at Battleground, I think it's going to be some problems. I will say that. He may not think otherwise, but I think it's going to be an issue between those two. They're going to butt heads. So when she do face off against the championship, we'll see what happens. Last but not least, let's get into the main event, shall we? We got Jordynne Grace versus Giulia, number one contendership for the NXT Women's Championship. This was a good match. Giulia did her thing as usual. I talked about this on Pink Square Circle. Jordynne Grace, she is botched too much. She's moving too fast, and there was certain parts in the match like she could have easily just took Giulia out. Good job that Giulia tucked her head in, has the experience, strong style, and she's able to hang with Jordynne Grace. But Jordynne Grace, I talked about her. She seems like she's not a safe worker. She keeps making mistake after mistake. But despite all that, this was a good 4.5 stars. Great match. Giulia carried this match. I don't care what nobody says. Jordynne Grace really needs to get back to the PC and work on her craft some more. But other than that, that's the main stuff I liked about NXT. Now, for my review for NXT as a whole, I would give this show here. I have to be honest, a 3.5 out of 5. It was okay. It wasn't a terrible episode. It was okay. Those matches were good. But I gotta go over the biggest issue I saw with this episode of NXT. We'll go over the biggest issue I saw. And I will talk about Jada Parker here. Jada Parker had a match tonight against Carmen Petrovic 1-on-1. And they had Jada Parker won and everything. She did her thing, but I believe with Jada Parker was going on, she has not rebounded from losing the NXT Women's Championship matches. She has competed against Stephanie Walker for the NXT Women's Championship, which started the rift between Jada and Jordynne Grace. Then also she competed for the NXT Women's Championship in a four-way match at Stand and Deliver. It was Stephanie defending championship against Giulia, Jada Parker, and Jordynne Grace. And every time that Jada's in a big championship match, she always loses. She takes the pinfall, especially in a four-way match. And I don't think she ever rebounded from that. I see that's an issue there. So I don't know what else to say, but I will say that they have to do something to rebuild her, to get her back going, get in the good graces again. I just don't see what's the whole thing of why Jada has to take the L all the time. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely something to look that I kept my eye on as far as that goes when it comes to Jada Parker. As she's supposed to be one of the women they build up on NXT, but she's steady taking L's. So I don't know what the whole thing is with that, but that's something that really needs to be looked into. And I don't know what WWE's going to do. So that's one thing I saw, the biggest thing I saw this week. However, there is a something I did see that I did like this week, and this has been talked about, and I talk about this all the time, but we can expect to see this at some point now. Now, even though that after the Jordynne Grace and Stephanie Walker match is done at Battleground, we did see backstage that earlier on NXT, Lola Vice pops out and she told Stephanie, whatever happens at the conclusion of NXT Battleground between Jordynne Grace challenging Stephanie Walker for the NXT Women's Championship, whether Stephanie retains or loses the championship, she's next in line for number one contendership. So I don't know how Ava's going to do that, how she's going to be back in there. But Lola Vice, we really haven't seen much of Lola since Stephanie Walker stepped on the scene. If you guys pay attention to the timelines, I've noticed that. But other than that, though, it was okay episode for NXT. We have Battleground coming up same weekend as the Saturday Night's main event for the main roster, and Battleground's the same day as the AEW Double or Nothing. But that's all I have that for WWE NXT New Number One Contenders. You guys let me know what you think. Check out the content Red Carpet Rain, guys. Until then, guys, you already know what it is at this point. It's OU.